hang out with me for a little while for some time of motivation and chit chat while I get my laundry done. I actually started this incredibly large task yesterday, but I was having issues with my camera, so I don't think I have much of that saved. Unfortunately, my whole family has been sick for at least a week now. My baby had RSV, so we think that has been going around our entire house. We spent a lot of last week in and out of the hospital with our baby. In the week prior to that, I had showings with two couples and one of their 2-year-olds, and he was getting sick the entire 2 days that I was with him. They thought it was just car sickness, but we found that was not true, as my entire family ended up with the stomach flu. We got over that and ended up with RSV. My postpartum journey has been kind of difficult, especially with keeping the home clean. Having me, my husband, our now 5-month-old baby, and my 9-year-old, things can get piled up quick. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I've never been the best about keeping things clean and tidy, but that doesn't mean that I don't try, and it can be exhausting. For me, I know I just have to get moving to get things clean, but while I'm trying to get one simple task done, I see another bigger task that needs to be complete, or little mini tasks along the way that tends to make things take a lot longer for me to do. I know growing up, this really frustrated my mom. That being said, I do believe in becoming 1% better every single day. So now that I'm doing a big reset right now, trying to reset my house, start from ground zero, the base level, so that it's easier to keep up with. I am hoping and I'm confident that I'm going to get better about this in the future. And I'd love for you to hang out with me as well, just to stay motivated. What I'm doing to help combat this is to focus either on one section of things or kind of slice out the tasks. One of my big tasks for this week was this closet. Oh my gosh, when I first started, you couldn't see the floor. You could barely walk into this closet. I really wish I took a before video. I decluttered, I put stuff away, and I organized. I absolutely love my husband. How I have his side of the closet set up, it was so easy for him to pick up where I left off, to be able to put away his things where they belong, because I have everything organized from the type of clothing it is, and then I also have it in color order. Now, my side of the closet was a little bit different because I was pregnant and had a baby. I had a large portion of my closet that was organized, from workout clothes to my sweaters, work shirts, t-shirts, all of those things, but I had them organized in an area because those were clothes that didn't currently fit me. So I had one small section of clothing that had fit in the front of the closet, and all my clothes were kind of put away willy-nilly. So I'm still working on getting that back together so that I can see what I have and what I have to wear every day. Even though I did do a lot of decluttering in this area, it's not complete. I still have a couple of boxes of clothing that I need to go through that's in the closet. I think I still have some boxes of clothes maybe in my garage from when we moved that I haven't put away yet. And then I still have to do the racks on the top of the closet. So stick around in another video that will be coming. I'm hoping to get that done either this weekend or the beginning of next week, depending on how our family schedule goes. When I say I decluttered, I was able to get rid of about a trash bag and a half full of shoes and 3 full trash bags full of clothes. I mean, I know I have a lot. I got rid of a lot though before we moved to this house last year. Not today, but tomorrow is actually our 1-year anniversary of owning this home. So that's a big milestone, and I'm so glad and happy to be able to get rid of some things. I used to be the person that kept things forever. Before I moved to Florida, I would have clothes in my closet still, from junior high, middle school time, and I was graduated from college. It was insane. I think getting rid of things was hard for me because I grew up poor. I am so thankful for my mom. She was such a hard worker and always made sure that my sister and I had everything we needed. But that upbringing definitely followed me into adulthood, and I really didn't realize that until now, and I'm 31 years old. I first realized it during my shopping trips for groceries. Most of my independent adulthood time, when I'd go buy groceries, I would buy so much at one time. It would be a massive amount of groceries, the one grocery trip for the month. That's kind of like what we did when we grew up, right? Well, I realize now that I had always been doing that because I wanted to make sure that there was enough food to feed myself and my oldest son. My youngest son wasn't here yet, or I guess he is now, but he wasn't really hasn't been grocery dependent yet. I had came to realize that by doing these large grocery shopping trips, I was being so wasteful. So much of my food was perishing before we could eat it. Now, if I'm buying shelf-stable things, then it's not that big of a deal. Now that money isn't as big of an issue, I am able to go ahead and divide up the shopping trips throughout the month and be okay with just buying, a handful of things here and a handful of things there as we need them. That way, our fridge is not overstocked. Much less food gets overlooked and we're actually using the things we buy, which in the long run is saving us so much more money anyways. While working on what is seeming like to be this never-ending mountain of laundry, I decided to put on a new show. Depending on what task I'm trying to complete and what type of cleaning I am doing will dictate what kind of thing I'm going to put on. If I am needing to move through the home quickly or I'm just spot cleaning, something upbeat, a podcast or some cleaning music might be the way to go. I find that if I'm doing anything other than laundry, the TV is not going to be the best idea for me, as I will linger for too long and not get enough done. But for laundry, I can go ahead and fold things as I am doing it. I don't have to be super involved mentally in it. I can mindlessly fold things and I can pause the show as I need to. And actually, while I was beginning this task, I had YouTube on and had some other various cleaning videos. I do find them to be very motivational and inspiring. I love to see how other people are cleaning their home and organizing, just, to help make things easier in the day-to-day in my home as well. There are so many methods that you can use for putting away clothing. I know some mamas who decide to do like the bin method, and you have different bins in the children's rooms, and one bin has their shorts, one has underwear, one has shirts, one has socks, and nothing gets folded. They get thrown in and the child can choose what they're wearing for the day. I have a few bins like that. I have bins for my underwear. We have bins for our socks, but I do tend to keep the socks put together. Otherwise, I end up with a nightmare like we will see at the end. My preferred method for storing clothing would have to be hanging everything. I am not a fan of folding laundry, and when I do fold the laundry, it doesn't tend to stay folded. Whether it's by me going through things quickly to try to find something to wear or deciding not to wear something after I pulled it out, or the same with my son. I'm sure he does the same thing in his room as well. Going ahead and hanging everything up really allows you to see what there is. And in my brain, out of sight, out of mind, which is so difficult, which makes it kind of useless for me to have certain things, to be honest. If I can't see it, I'm not going to be using it unless I specifically know to look for it. So what type of methods do you like to use to hang your laundry? Do you hang them? Do you fold them? Do you use the bin method? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. I know we're almost 8 minutes into this, but I do have to apologize here towards the end. My baby Varric has been with me, and he is a very noisy eater, and since he is recovering from being sick, he can breathe kind of loudly too. So that's who you're hearing, and I'm sure you'll be seeing him in a future video as well. If you've noticed how I've been folding my towels, it is actually the preferred way that the Hampton Inn folds their towels. When I was in college, I was hired as an undercover boss for the housekeeping department of Hampton Inn, and it was quite the experience, let me tell you. When I was interviewing for the position, the general manager had asked me if I could make a bed, and I smiled and I said, yes, I can make a wonderful bed. Little did he know I was horrible at making a bed. I was not able to make a bed, but I knew I was going to try. I quickly learned how to make a bed and everything turned out well. Now here is the mountain of no return. The mountain of socks I had mentioned a long time ago. Oh my goodness, it is horrible. A while back, both my 9-year-old son and my husband decided that they would need to wear my socks when the socks they have weren't what they wanted for their outfit, or if they were out of socks or something. I was totally fine with offering my socks to share. I don't mind that at all. But in doing this, I have lost a lot of matches to my socks. Oh my goodness, and they have stopped being paired. I think my family has the most socks I've ever seen. I had gotten rid of so many socks last year. And, I'm going to be getting rid of more once we are done with this task. I bought this cute little hanging container, I think from Temu online, and it says looking for my soulmate, which is a little thing I hang up in my laundry room. It comes up easy. It's just hanging on 2 nails in my laundry room on the wall, that I can put socks in as I find them, or if I end up with a sock without a match at the end of the laundry basket, I can go ahead and throw it in there. When I first started, I went ahead and pulled out some of the longer socks that I could see. The black socks on one side of me, the white socks on the other, as my husband does have quite a few similar looking socks that are similar size but different brands and have different logos on them. I find doing it this way to be helpful, just because it's easier to go ahead and make those pairs. But with the amount of socks that I had, this quickly became overwhelming, and I was not really making pairs that easily, and I was taking more time looking through the pile than I wanted. So eventually I went ahead and I got an empty hamper to pour some socks in, and I sorted them even further. I sorted them by white socks, colored socks, black socks, long socks, short socks, all the above. You'll be able to see that here in a minute once we get to that. One tip that can be helpful for your socks is use a mesh laundry bag. Put all of your socks in a mesh laundry bag before you throw it into launder, and that way all of your socks stay together and they don't come up missing so easily. If you're really dedicated, you could always pin or clip your socks together before you wash them too. That way, as soon as they come out and they're dry, you can put them together and put them right away. If you're finding yourself in the same season of life that I'm currently in, buried in this massive, never-ending mountain of laundry, I want you to give yourself grace. Start slow by dividing the work you have to do. Maybe do a load of laundry before you go to work for the day or before you go to bed. One load of laundry out of the way takes a small bite out of the work you need to do. By doing a little bit of the work every day until you're caught up, it really helps you to avoid that feeling of overwhelm. You know, when you decide, okay, today's the day we're doing all of the laundry, or this weekend is for laundry, and you spend 2 days straight doing nothing but laundry, that's when you're going to get burnt out, and it's going to put you back in the same situation. Definitely not purposefully, but if your mind is like mine, that's the situation you're going to find yourself in. If you're someone who likes visuals, maybe you use a calendar. I love my calendar. I've been looking at the Skylight calendar online and I've just been loving it, but it's so expensive. I don't know if it's worth the cost yet. I have a bunch of people around me who have gotten them, so I'm waiting to see what they say. But for now, I just use my family calendar. We use Time Tree to share across our devices. But for me, what you could do, what works for me, what might work for you, is if you break your chores up throughout the week. This is something new that I've started. If you're visual, you like to see it, you like to cross it off the list, you can put it on the calendar and mark it off when it's done. You can make a chores list that you keep on your refrigerator, so every single time you go by, there's something that you've done for the day, you can quickly mark that off. Right in front of me, keeping me company, is my baby Bean. We recently found this little play activity center for him. It was so difficult to find any for his size because before getting sick, he was 25 pounds. Now he's around 22 pounds, but the maximum weight for a lot of these is right around 25 pounds. My baby isn't even 6 months yet, so I'm hoping this one with a larger weight capacity, he'll be able to use a little bit longer. For my laundry, I always love to use the All Clean, Free and Clear, laundry detergents of that sort. But if you have not tried it, I 100% recommend that you try the Tyler Candle Diva. The Tyler Candle Diva scent is the best. When I use that, I will still use the regular Free and Clear detergent, and then I just add a little cap full of the Diva to it as well, and it lasts forever. I actually had one time where I was at a car meet with my husband, and somebody that was there, it was a little bit windy, not too bad, but he looked at me and he was like, "Are you wearing Diva?" And I was like, "Yes, I am," and it was just so funny. People recognize the smell, and it is so nice. Sometimes what I do too is I'll take an empty spray bottle. I will fill it mostly with water, and then I'll put a little bit of the Diva in it and shake it up. And I use that as a room refresher, like on my bed or in the car, especially in the car. I'm going to put an emphasis on that because I have a 9-year-old that plays a lot of baseball. The car can tend to get a little stinky. A majority of this basket has my baby's clothes, and so many of them are the clothes that he has already outgrown. He is now, if we're lucky, wearing some 9-month clothes, but we've moved on mainly to 9 to 12 months. I can't believe it. we're not even 6 months into the year, and we're in 12-month clothes. No surprise here, though, but it's still bittersweet going through all the outfits that he only got to wear once, or you remember what they looked like in them, and kind of makes you sad. Bittersweet. You'll see that I am putting some of them on the side here. I did not completely dry them all the way. I didn't want anything to shrink. So some that were still a little bit damp, I left on the side to continue drying. And then the rest I'm folding up to put away for maybe a future baby. If you have kids, what do you do with their clothes when they outgrow them? Did you keep their clothes? Did you store them away? Did you sell them? Did you donate them? What did you do? There are 9 years between my oldest and my youngest. So unfortunately, we have no baby clothes left by the time our newest baby came around. We had absolutely nothing for baby. So we had to go. We did have a baby shower, but aside from the baby shower, we had to buy everything new. I was very fortunate, though, that my sister saw a post on a local page of someone that was giving away a white crib. It just needed a little bit of TLC as it was well loved before, but we were thankfully able to go grab it, and then my husband sanded it and painted it, and my mom helped him put it back together. At this point, I was so thankful for my husband as he did lend a helping hand to help me sort and hang up the baby clothes. One mistake I made in preparing for my new baby was that everybody told me that he would be wearing the size 3 to 6 month for the longest. He might not wear the newborn size, but he'll definitely wear 0 to 3 and quickly move on to 3 to 6 and stay in that range for quite a while. It actually did not happen for me. My baby was bigger. He was 9 pounds and 4 ounces when he was born, but he was only just under 22 inches long. So he wasn't the longest baby, probably just average in length. So he was able to fit into the few newborn things we had. He definitely wore the 0 to 3 month pretty quickly, but just as quickly was out of the 3 to 6 months. So I actually ended up having probably a good quarter of a closet worth of clothes that he did not get to wear. I should have left the tags on everything, but when I was preparing to have him, I went ahead and I took all the tags off of everything, washed them, and then hung them up so that they would be ready. This preparation part was so important for me because my husband is in the Navy, and at the time, he was actually gone out to sea when I was due to have him. It was a waiting game until the very last minute to know if he'd even be able to be here for the birth of our baby or not. So it was kind of scary. But thankfully, he was able to be home and here to have our baby. And he's had some extended time to spend with our family. As you can see, it might be a little bit hard to see here, but I've been putting things in different piles. Typically, when I am putting away one load of laundry, I will have a pile for me, a pile for my husband, a pile for my son Everett, and a pile for Varick. And then a towel pile as well, if that happens to be in there. But I organize the shirts and pants where they need to be so that I can quickly go through the line and throw a bunch of hangers on them and take them to their respective places in the home. And we're back in action with these darn never-ending socks. I needed to take a break to put the other laundry that had finished away, and we are back. I did, as I mentioned earlier, go ahead and pour everything into the green hamper, and I'm actually going to zoom this out a little bit so you can see better. But right now, I am putting everything in the basket so that it is out of the lost sock hamper that I have that I keep on my wall. I am putting together any matches that I can find. I am taking out the black, the gray, the whites, the colors as we go, just for ease of sorting. I think I have maybe 2 or 3 more loads of laundry left to put through after this, But as soon as all of the laundry is done, I'm going to make every single pair of socks that I can, and then I am getting rid of the rest. We are going to start with a clean slate, and I'm so excited to do that so that I don't have a full missing sock bin on my wall anymore. Is there anything special that you do for socks and so you can kind of avoid this? I do know some people that will buy just one of the same socks. So anytime that they go sock shopping for their kids, themselves, their husbands, they only buy the same kind of socks so that it doesn't matter if there's one missing, there's always a match. And if, it's just easy to put together that way. This winter in Florida, we finally got a cold snap. It was crazy. The Gulf Coast actually got quite a bit of snow. We did not see any snow here. I do know a little bit further north of me in like the Fernandina Beach and Jacksonville areas, some specific Jacksonville areas did see some snow that was falling, even though it didn't really stick to the ground. They got some, and that is wildly crazy for here. So a bunch of my plants in my yard died. I have a barren garden that I really need to dig up. So those are a few things that I'm going to be doing coming up in the next week or so, is getting rid of everything that's in my garden and tending to the plants that might have, bit the dust with the frost. I'm really hoping to get more of a handle on the inside of my house though before I move to the exterior. But it's a good thing to have a running list of things you need to do so you can go ahead and cross them off as they go. That's something my son really likes to do. He likes to be able to check off things that he has completed. He doesn't have a lot of chores, but now he's 9, so we're kind of adding to that list as we go. He usually will help me unload the dishwasher when the dishes are done, and I'm starting to have him do some things around the house because it's funny because he says he doesn't know how to do anything, and that's on me. So we're going to start teaching him how to help around the house. He knows how to clean his bathroom. Does a really good job at that. The next project after this laundry is to overhaul his bedroom. And that's because he got all these things for Christmas, and he's really good about keeping his room put together as long as he has a place to put everything. But unfortunately, he hasn't really had a place to put everything. So I gave him the task of getting rid of as many toys as he can, fill up as many trash bags as he can with his toys, and we'll find homes for everything. So that is exciting. My mom and sister are both teachers, and as we know, teachers aren't paid well. They don't get stipend for things. They are often using their own money out of their own pockets for everything for their classroom. So all these toys that Everett is getting rid of is going to their classrooms. And thankfully for him, his Mimi has actually offered to give him $20 for his toys. So not only is he getting rid of things and making room, but he's also adding to his savings account. So if today you're only able to get one thing crossed off your list, that is okay. It is one thing less than you have to do tomorrow. So I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me while getting a majority of this task done. I look forward to seeing you again soon. If there's something in particular that you enjoy most, let me know in the comments and I'd be happy to share them. I am so excited to be on this journey with you and to share any tips and tricks that I come along that help me, and I hope they help you too. See you soon.